Hello. Do put me a thumbs up or a comment when you get here. Hopefully, oh, here we go. I should be able to access the comments straight away. I'm all organised today. So, how are we all? Are we all right? I apologise for the messy bit on this side of the table, but you know, can't be helped. Hopefully there'll be a few people joining us in a few minutes. Hi Maxine. How are you? All right? I don't know what the weather's been like elsewhere today, but it's been very much sunshine and showers here today. A few of the showers were pretty heavy. Wouldn't want to be out in them. Let's put it that way. I'm hoping I'll get more comments coming through soon. I think it looks like we've got 4 people with us now. So I thought tonight I'd have a little play with some more inkaballs of varying sorts, and I'll also have a play with this week's palette, because I don't know if you've seen it or not, but Alison's journal page using this week's palette was just gorgeous, so I decided I needed to have a play with these colours too. So I've got my inks all ready. I've got some tag inkaballs this time. But this is my card that's on the blog today. That's done using just one Dinkaball that I sort of, here it is, look. So I put it on like sort of that corner and then a bit up there, and then that corner and a bit down there. Hi Lynn. Yeah, it's been just like that here, Maxine. It's yeah, been very changeable and not fine enough to, well, I've looked outside and thought, shall I go for a walk? No, there's a big cloud coming just there and it's going to be here in a few minutes, and it was. Yeah, so yeah, the steps aren't quite up to my total today. How's Lynn? How's the weather up there? You generally get it about a day after we've had it, don't you? So I'm guessing you'll have a wet day tomorrow, or showery day tomorrow. Yeah, so besides my card, I thought I'd show you this canvas, which I did during a live when we first launched the tag inkaballs, which I used them in various different ways. Sun, rain, hail and showers. Yep, that sounds like you've had the same as us then. Yeah, so I used it to emboss, with paint through, with texture paste through. So I mean, that's a more sort of complex thing that you can do with the inkaballs, but that's quite a quick and easy thing you could do with the inkaballs. So I'm just going to try and give you a bit of inspiration for the challenge today. So shall we get started? I'm sure there'll be a few more people here in a few minutes. Oh, thank you, Maxine. Okay, so see, I think that was the journal page I did last time, wasn't it? I used that. That's one of the inkaballs, big ones in the background. That one was my blog post a couple of weeks ago with again, big ones inkables in the background. So I'm going to use this page today, I think. As per usual, I've sort of dotted about in this journal, and I've got various pages and ones with bits of ink on it, and I thought, no, today I want some nice clean pages. Hi, Kim. Yeah, so here we are with some nice clean pages, and I'm going to slap some ink on there. So just looking at the inks that Bev had selected, I sort of changed them very slightly. So I've got Fossilized Amber, Salvage Patina, Picked Raspberry like she got, and then I thought there was like a reddish one, which I've gone for Candied Apple, and the sort of darker purpley pink, I've gone for the Seedless Preserves. So those are the colours that I'm going to work with today. I'm going to pop the Seedless Preserves to one side because I'm going to use that through some inkables, and then I'm going to put these on for my background. And like Alison did, because that page was amazing, I'm going to be quite bold and use the Distress Oxide and apply plenty of colour, and maybe sort of dot it around the page a little bit. I'm not going to do lines like I normally do, be a bit different today. Right, so that'll do for my Candied Apple, I think. Then we'll have some Fossilized Amber. Hi, Julia. Thank you for joining me this evening. We'll have some, sorry, took the wrong lid off there. We'll have some Salvage Patina next. I never know if I'm pronouncing that right. Patina, patina. I think my sponges need a good wash, actually. Just looking at that. I think that's coming on perhaps a little bit greener than it should be. There we go. I'm going to move it up very slightly as well, because I appear to be moving off the bottom of the screen. And then we'll go for the Picked Raspberry. And now when you put the Picked Raspberry and the Salvage Patina next to each other, you get almost like a slightly purpley shade. It's cool. I like that. Okay. So now I've got that colour on the background, I'm going to use some tag inkables today. So I've got this one from set 3 and this one from set 2. So I'm going to do some patches around the page, and I'm going to use a brush to put the ink on, she says. I know there's a brush here somewhere that's... I'll use... No, I use the pink one, and because it's a similar shade. So this is the Seedless Preserves that I'm going to do through the inkables. Okay. Whoa, that's nice. liking this. A bit more of this one. And then a bit more in this corner down here. And maybe a bit more of that there. And then a little bit, tiny bit more of this one. Just at the bottom here. Or maybe up there as well. I think that'll do me. I'm liking that. You've gone very quiet, you lot, or is it my comments again not behaving themselves? I don't know. So, what now? Right, I'm going to give that a quick splatter with some water as well. So what I do with water, I tend to spray it into my hand like this and then just flick it at the page. Okay, and leave it for a few seconds. Oh, thanks, Kim. And then got some, I actually remembered and brought some kitchen roll today. So I'm just going to pop the kitchen roll on and just dab it off so you can see it sort of leaves a slightly speckled effect on there. I might do just a little bit more splatters on this side. Let's try like this. Oh yeah, that's a bit better. Right. There we go. Now, these here inkables I've got just here, not going to waste that ink. What I'm going to do, I'll just put my bookmark in there. So I've turned to a blank page further on in the journal. I'm going to give these a quick spritz with some water and then turn them over and splodge them on. Comme ça. Oh, nice. And put a bit of that one up here as well. So that's another way that you can use your inkables. So basically it's like using them like a stamp, isn't it? You've put the ink on there, you wet the background, you wet the ink and then lay it on top. Pat it down and you get some nice effects. We'll start another page later. Hi Bev. So that's another page started for a later date. I'll go back to my original page in a minute. When you use the inkables like this, I just love the way that you get almost just like the outlines of them. It's great. enough, and then we'll go back to the page that we've already started, which is here. There we go, and I'll give that a quick blast as well because I splattered that water on it and it's still a little bit damp. I wish I was, Bev. I wish I was. No, it's been fine actually. When I took my last big birthday, I wallowed in a pit of despair because I was so old. And then this birthday, I'm just like, yeah, it's just a number. Not bothered. This colour palette is just gorgeous. I love it. Love it. Okay, so what next? I'm just going to just check something a minute because I coloured in a whole load of daisies earlier in the week. Oh, sorry, coneflowers, not daisies, coneflowers. They do look nice on there, don't they? I don't know, what do you think? Or shall I use some other stamps and do some other colouring? Let's have a look, what have I got? Where's the daisy gone? Yes. Yes. I think it might be quite nice to have some flowers looking at each other, mightn't it? Oh, I like that one. I'll perhaps have the daisy on this side. They do go well, don't they? I'm going to save one of the coneflowers though, and I'm going to stamp some daisies and colour them in, I think. But I'll probably use that one. And I want to do a little bit around the page as well. This is very true. The coneflowers do go perfectly with everything. And what I haven't done yet, and I've got one ready here, look. I've got a candle ready. I need to do a coneflower candle because I've not done one of those yet, and I think it would go really well. It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Hi, Alison. Just in case you don't know, Alison, you're the inspiration for tonight's live because your journal page just made me fall in love with this colour palette. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Monday. Yeah, I thought that is fabulous. I definitely need to have a play with it. Right, now I thought I did. No, that's grey card. I thought I'd put myself some watercolour card just here somewhere, and I can't see it. Now I'll use some of this white card instead. Here we go. I'm just going to set that to one side a minute. Move this up, and I want my black ink. Do you know, I seem to think every week this colour palette's my favourite, and then the next week there's another gorgeous one. But this is just spectacular, isn't it? It's bright, it's all my favourite things. Okay, I'll probably pop another one on the end as well at some point, but I will get on with colouring one of these in now. I'll just give it a very quick waft with the heat tool to set that ink. And then I will get my Ecoline pens. So, what colours do you think I should do the daisy with? I'm going to use some greens to colour the leaves. And whilst I'm doing that, you can decide for me what colour I'm going to do the flowers. So, I could do a... thinking maybe I see we've got a yellow coneflower, so maybe something different to yellow. Could go for pink, could go for red, not sure. I've loved. It's just a fabulous idea, Bev. I've loved so many of them, and what I love about it as well is it's got me using inks that I haven't used for a while. Because I don't know about you, but I always tend to go for my favourites. So I'm not being very neat about colouring these in because I'm going to cut them out. So I don't have to be very precise about going around the edges. Right, let's have a little look a minute. So against this background we could have that sort of magenta pink. That's red violet. Okay, both of those would go. What's this one? Reddish brown. Oh yeah, I used that on the centre of that one. Or we could go with like a red. See, I very rarely reach for a pink, and I think there's been pink in most of them, which is great because it makes me use pink. I'm a cool colour person normally. So what we're thinking for this daisy then, what colours shall I do it? And shall I do the middle yellow? I think I'll go for yellow for the middle. Oh, Kim says pink. Okay, thank you, Kim. So I'll just put a little bit of this slightly darker yellow around that bottom edge. I might go in with some and the dots in the middle in a few minutes. Okay, so I'll put those two away and we'll go with Kim's choice of pink. Oh, what I might do as well is have a paler pink so that I can blend it a little bit. Sure, I've got one here somewhere. Yeah, pastel pink. See, I haven't got many pink. I think that's they're the only pinks that I've got in the Ecoline pens. Just see if this will, not sure if it will very well on this card, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, I think that works. So I don't know about other folk, but I've decided this year I'm spreading my birthday celebrations throughout the year, and I'm doing a few things like a big walk in the Malvern Hills, a big walk near Manchester, up in the Forest of Bowland, and a few other bits and bobs as well. One of the things that I'm going to be doing on next Friday, 22nd, is a photography bird of prey experience, which I thought sounded rather good. So be prepared for lots of photos of birds of prey. I'm not sure if I haven't wet this card a little bit too much at that. Yeah, I've also treated myself to a, I say I've treated myself. Steve's given me some money, and I've bought myself a new rucksack, and I'm going to get some walking boots, new walking boots as well, because I did discover the other day that my old ones do let a little bit of water in if it's really wet. Oh, I might come and take you up on that on the way back, Bev. That sounds like a good plan. Or maybe even on the way there as well. I'm going to be there. I'm going down on the Friday and then coming back on the Sunday. So. Yeah, so I've been out walking quite a lot in training for my big walks. I'm up to about 6 miles at the moment. I'll be doing 12 on the day, so. It's been fun finding footpaths locally and going out and having a good walk. Hopefully. Yes, I've got a lens, a bigger lens than my previous one, that I can zoom in and get some decent pictures of wildlife with, but it's heavy, so I need to practice lots with it, and bit of weightlifting, just so I can hold it steady when I'm taking my pictures, I think. Although I did manage a few the other day. We went out for a walk and found some great crested grebes with their chicks, and they're like little humbugs. They're black and white striped little humbugs, and they're so cute. And this mum had 4 babies on her back, being mum's taxi, you know. It was just so cute. I took probably about 90 photos. I never know what to do in this situation, whether to cut the stem. I think what I'm going to do is cut the stem off at the flower, and then I can put the flower on afterwards. So put the stem on like that, and then add the flower. Might tilt it slightly differently, and then the same with this one. So I'll pop that on and then add the flower. So I've got the whole stem on, the flower slightly further down the stem. I might just trim a tiny bit off the bottom of that bit actually. That's feeling all right. That is. I might just cut the ends of the stems once I've glued them down in a minute. So I think before I do glue them down, I want to just add a little bit of stamping to the background. Not a lot, because I love how it looks at the minute, but maybe just a little bit of what we got on this one. Oh, that's not off that one. So I'm thinking maybe use this corner like I did on the card that I did on the blog post. So that corner there, and a bit of this around the edges. So I do a border with those. And I think I'm going to do it in black actually. And I look, and it's not on there. No, it is, it's there. I thought I'd put it back on the wrong sheet for a minute. I tell you, at the moment, I feel a little bit disorganised as far as my stamps are concerned, because there's quite a few that are in a box at the side of me that I haven't put away properly. And it's reaching that point where I need to have a good putting away session. Right. Let's get this one done then. So, like that. Such a handy little corner stamp, this one. Oh, well, could go anywhere obviously, but just goes nicely in the corner. That went for that one. Oh, great crested grebes is like a duck, but with a You'd know him if you saw him, I'm sure you would. But it's got quite a pointed beak. Goes on there. I'll add some of this one, which is like the little circles. I'll pop it in the middle of that bit there. Do another one at the top. And then this teeny little one. Can I get it across the fold? We'll see. Yes. Try the same this side. There we go. Happy with that. Right, I'll just wipe those marks off that because I know I'll put them down somewhere and make a mess of something else. All right, time to get the bits stuck on then. Right. So this is the coneflower one. So I'm thinking if I bring it from that gap just there off the edge of the page, I probably didn't need to cut the flower head off, but you know, I've done it now. It's all right. And then this one at a similar jaunty angle on the other side. Yeah, I'm wishing now I had found the, I'll find it in a bit, the bit of watercolour card that I cut and then mixed in amongst the other bits of card. Like that, I think. Yes, because that doesn't look quite as good as I would have hoped, but never mind. Never mind. It's fine. Thought I dropped it wrong side down then. Okay. use my gel pens because I've got a sparkly gold one here. So I'm just going to go in and add a little bit of sparkle on those polleny bits in the middle of the flower. Just there. And then the same just around this bottom edge of the cone flower. And maybe just a few little dots in that pale bit there, which I don't know if you can see the sparkle on that. Oh wow, you'll have to show us, Lynn. Nice double rainbow. Right, so I've got sunshine in flower form. That could be our sentiments, or we could use a do you know what I'm thinking? Ridiculously fabulous, because I think this colour palette really is ridiculously fabulous. So I think I'm going to go for that one. And I'm going to pop it just down here, I think. Yep, that should be okay just there. Okay, so there we go. I'm pleased with that. One last thing to do is just to snip the bottom of this flower so it's not overhanging the page. There we go. I could probably give it a little splatter with a bit of Distress Spritz. Let's do that. Let's have a look. What have we got? So I've just picked up this. I've got picked raspberry, so I'll have a little splatter of pink. Absolutely, I think I could too, Bev. Yeah, ridiculously fabulous is fantastic. I should have done this before I stuck the flowers on, but never mind. There might be a bit goes on the flowers, but pink rain. There we go. So I hope that has been fun to watch for you. Please enter the challenge. I'll be doing the post for the winner of last month's challenge, because I'd forgotten again. I need somebody to remind me about a week in after the poll's gone up to get the post done. But I'll get that done. Yes, so the challenge, I know there's a few people already entered the challenge, thank you very much. And we seem to be getting people enough entries for a prize as well. So yeah, so I hope you'll enter this month's challenge, which is the to use Inkaballs, and it can be any of the Inkaballs. It can be the Dinkaballs, it can be the grande ones, it can be the big ones, it can be the tags, it can be the 6x6, any of them. Just use them in some way and use some Be Crafty stamps as well. And if you haven't had a good look at the lives, if you go to the Be Crafty YouTube channel, you'll be able to find a lot of them there. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. Actually, let's just lift that up so you can see it a little bit closer. There we go. Yeah. And there we go. And I'll say, oh look, it's sparkly now. See the sparkles? Yeah. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.